I'm just waiting for people to log in and then we'll start. Hello, everybody. Invoking the blessings again for this session. We'll be discussing about value-based teaching methodologies. And as normally what we do, we'll start with a prayer and then we'll take it forward. So please join me in repeating it after that. O Lord, take my love and let it flow in fullness of devotion to Thee. O Lord, take my hands and let them work incessantly for Thee. O Lord, take my soul and let it be merged in one with Thee. O Lord, take my mind and thoughts and let them be in tune with Thee. O Lord, take my everything and let me be an instrument to work for Thee. Namaste and welcome to everybody on our next episode or session for teachers training in terms of teaching methodologies. So today we are going to, it's actually a continuation of building up a value educational program. And we have gone through already the philosophy of education. We have seen those foundational principles. And now we will look at the techniques which have been given to us to help us implement this program properly. Now, these are actually 5 teaching methodologies which have been given to us. And today we will look at one by one and see what they represent and how we can make it better for ourselves and how we can integrate it into our life and our system. At the very outset, I would like to tell that these teaching methodologies, in fact, they are termed in that manner, but they are not made only for teachers per se. So it should not be taken as if these are only meant for people who are academically into the educational stream. These are techniques and tools which any parent or any adult who has responsibility of guiding their children, who has the responsibility of upbringing and development and growth of a child or anybody can utilize it. And the beauty of it is, if it is implemented in the right spirit, then we will start seeing the benefits very, very soon. So we'll look at it from each program, how it is implemented. And I'm happy to announce that today I have got 2 guests also with me. And as the time comes, I will be introducing them and we'll bring them along. They will be sharing with us the implementation and the benefits of it in their respective places. So to moving forward, let me take you through this journey of teaching methodologies. The first one is light meditation or silent sitting. In Sanskrit, we also call it Jyoti meditation. This is a very simple technique. It has been given in a very simple format for children, and this method can be utilized and used even by adults. And this is a very simple to implement, but it has got a huge benefits. Now, what does light meditation and silent sitting refer to? As I was explaining to you in the last sessions, that how important it is to sit in one place, to stabilize your physical being. Then only we can think of stabilizing our mind state, and then we go forward in grasping better things in life. Now, I always give this analogy explanation to people that look, when the child is in, say, kindergarten stage, their each session is not more than 10 to 15 minutes, and then they get restless. But the same child, when he comes to secondary level, the classes duration increases from 15 minutes, half an hour to 1 hour, and then it goes to 1.5 hours. And when the same child has to study in the college, then it goes for another 2 hours a session. So we expect the child to sit for 2 hours and focus. And then the same person, when he grows up and become an adult and goes into an industrial working environment, and there sometimes you have a marathon, meetings going on, and you have to hear the lectures and make notes. So that time we expect the same being to sit for 5 6 hours at a stretch and be attentive. And the best researchers will tell you that uh, an average person cannot hold his attention for more than 10 minutes. So people who have to give lectures also, they have given a tips that, hey, break the rhythm, sing a song, tell a joke or something, so that people can bring back their attention. Because more than 10 to 15 minutes, nobody can focus. Now imagine you expect the same child to attentive work with focus and concentration when he has reached an adult age, but we have not trained him to do that. In the childhood, we appreciate, oh, let the child sit as they want. In the class, in the school days also, we have no idea of how to discipline and give him that kind of training. So that initiation, if you look at it, that's how the curriculums are also designed, as to what do we want from a child when he finishes graduation, and then bring it down, work backwards. So if you expect a person to sit and listen for a few hours as an adult and grasp it, and listen and absorb it and understand it, then we have to understand what kind of training the child must be given. So we have realized that at the age of kindergarten, which is around 3 years old, the child must be initiated into sitting postures, into stabilizing the body, controlling his behavior, checking his emotions. So only when you start training the child slowly, slowly, then we can expect that when he comes to the higher secondary level, he can sit for an hour. When he goes to college, he can sit for 2 hours. And then, obviously, when he becomes adult, he will be capable enough to manage himself. So the initiation is very, very important, and it plays a vital role in the development of the child. Now, yesterday we were talking about constant integrated awareness. See, all of that again leads us in stabilizing our mind and body. So, this methodology is the most critical feature, or I would say an element, in educational teaching program. And this program, if done properly, it can change the environment of the school. It can change the effectiveness, receptiveness of the children. This silent sitting is an amazing tool, and it's very easy to do. Of course, it's a kind of a guided meditation initially, and we have a commentary. And this commentary also we have, I would say, at least I have been personally practicing it and sharing it for the last 20 years now. But this has been in place for I would say, at least 4 decades in implementation in different parts of the world. And I'm I'm very happy to say that wherever we have implemented it and wherever we have used this, it has given us amazing results. And you can see a very clear, remarkable difference in the child's development and growth. So, what is this format and how it is done? Well, today is not the forum for a practical implementation of it, but I'm just going to take you through it theoretically as to what it entails. Now, we implement it in slightly different way for kindergartens and then primary and then secondary, so that the child can adopt it, accept it, and understand it from their own level of understanding. So, in basically, in simple words, what we do is we give him a point of focus, and we make them ideally sit in a circle or anywhere where they can easily view a candle. Now, candle is very important in this exercise because candle light actually represents very pure, is purity. It doesn't hurt the eyes from the far when you look at it, and it has own positive impulses, implications. So light has anyways a positivity. It brightens you, it enlightens you, it is a positivity in life. And flame actually is representative of destroying the evil and negativity around you. And when you use this flame in a proper manner, you realize that it also emits vibrations around the people who are practicing it with flame, and it creates a good vibration and good energy. So, so we use a flame. We recommend to use flame. Now there are different, what should I say, expectations at different ages. We train the teachers in giving a guided talk. For children, it's a very simple guided talk, and it allows the children to do a positive reinforcement on themselves. Like they will look at the flame and focus it, and then visualize the flame. So it's a visualization technique. It is internalization. So we help them to not only look, focus, concentrate, and then visualize it internally, and then take that energy all through the body. And while going through that process, we give them positive affirmations. Something like, when the flame is visualized in the eye and your eye is lighted up, so focus that your eyes will only see good and not see anything which is bad, or not see anything which is not good. So we usually recommend people not to use negative words like bad, rather than say not good. So why two sides? Because it's very important here to focus and understand that when we tell a child, don't do this, in our adult ego state, we presume that the child understands what to do. And that is the mistake we commit with interacting with our children. Because when we tell a small child, maybe don't do that, so he gets confused as to, okay, if I don't do this, what am I supposed to do? So we forget to tell him the other half of the fact that, baby, don't do this, do this. So we are supposed to tell him both sides of the coin, so he understands that my parent or adult told me not to do this, but do this. And as he grows up, then he requires an explanation of why not this, why this. So at a different age, you have to reinforce it with different explanations, but the style remains the same, because we have to tell the child, look what is good and look not what is not good for you. So the correction is very important, that we need to remind the child what to do and what not to do. Most of the time, we end up with our state, we think only from adult stage of communication, and we keep telling the child, do this. He doesn't know why you're asking me to do it. Or don't do this. He again does not know. So the resultant behavioral response to the child is that they either revolt or they break the law, because they have not accepted the command, they've only heard it. And that way they can do it because of the fear, because of respect, or whatever. But they have not accepted it because they don't know the logic of it as to why you said do not do that. Because we fail to tell them what to do if not this. So that is why when we are taking them through this guided process, we are also trying to help in reminding them and making them understand as to they should look what is good, they should not look what is not good for them. Similarly, they should hear what is good and they should not hear what is not good for them. And as they grow into understanding, then we'll explain to them what is good and what is not good. So these explanations will keep adding up to the whole charm of it. But as you all know, initial developmental style, the age of the child, they don't question the parents or adult, they just obey them. So if you have put in the right seed and the right commands in their personality, then they will not question you, they will follow. And as they grow and their mind starts questioning, you can keep adding your responses based on their age development. So it doesn't confuse them, because it's the same statement my mom made when I was a baby. It's the same statement my parents are making when I'm an adult. But now they are telling me with more meat, more examples, more illustration, more explanations. So this is the uniformity of command is very important, and that you cannot do unless and until you are clear as to why you're asking a child to do. So for a simple thing, wake up in the morning early. Why? It's a very simple question which every parent struggles today around the world. If it is Sunday, forget it. Saturday night, children will sleep late and they'll wake up early, late morning, because nobody knows why. The only reason they will get up on Monday morning is because they have to go to school. That means you live only for an activity, you don't live for life. So the life, we have trained the children not to live. We have only trained them to just to go through this living attitude. Today it is matter of school, tomorrow it will be matter of work. So where is the life? So the point is, the moment we ask them to do something, if we have a clarity, then whether it is Sunday or Monday, your routine will not change. Either it is going to the office or going to gym or going to play or going to have fun. But the routine won't change. Why? Because the reinforcement has not been done in that manner. So that's how we take them through. And there is a small little explanation also about the postures. Like yesterday also I was mentioning about sitting straight. So in this exercise, we teach the children how to sit straight. We give them an exposure to breathing. We make them focus. And there are different techniques which we train our teachers, through which they can attract attention of our children and make them calm down. Let me here have the privilege of inviting our first guest, and I want her. I'll just introduce her, and that will be nice, because she's Novita. Let me bring her in. Hi, Novita. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, I have the pleasure of introducing her. Novita is her full name actually is Novita Lestari. Am I pronouncing it right?
It's okay.
And and she has done her bachelor's degree in early childhood education, and she also has a master's in education from Monash University, Australia. Very passionate with children, and presently she is working with Nanyang School in Indonesia. She is actually looking after the administration for overseeing the administration for the whole school, but prime responsibility for kindergarten. So Novita, welcome. Please say a few words to our listeners and tell something more about yourself.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Well, I think that you have introduced me very well already. You, actually, my bachelor degree is in early childhood education. So I love children because I see all the life scenarios in the children. Actually, it's already happening there. So how can we take that small example and fix it before it gets into the real life or real world of the adults? Yeah. So yeah, I
So,
think
so Novita, what happened? Tell us something about your involvement with the children while you're doing your masters. I believe you worked somewhere also.
yes, when I was doing my master degree, actually, I start working with young children. In Australia, I work with the early childhood children, and since then, well, doing my master degree, and I'm following. By that time, I also volunteering in this Nanyang school. So after all the studying, the volunteering, I really find my passion in these age groups.
So when
Yes.
you came back to Nanyang, how was your experience from the education to the really facing the children and doing things? And how did this light meditation and silent sitting came into your help?
Right. Okay. First of all, I would like to say thank you to you, Avi, who has been introducing this light meditation and also become our trainer and consultant in Nanyang. And as years gone by, like you have introduced the light meditation, we've seen a lot of differences in our children, distinct behavior changes in them, how they settle down, how they communicate with the teachers and their friends is very beautiful in a way, very good. It's not like we have students from outside and we compare it to our students who have been with us for some time. They are very different. The way they settle down, the way they can sit and listen to the teachers. So the teachers also actually really enjoying this light meditation.
I wanted to ask you, usually they say that when the small children come in, I would like you to tell the audience about it. When they join, especially kindergarten, and you realize that they take time to settle down. So
Correct.
normal, the time is like around a month or two they take to really settle down and they stop crying and the parents are hanging on the door outside the school, waiting for
Yeah.
their children to come out. So how was the difference once you started implementing this in Nanyang?
Right. So for our youngest age group is nursery classes. They are about 2.5 and 3 years old, starting that age. So that period of time is very hard for them to separate from their parents. So what we have done is we implement this light meditation in the beginning of the day with the candles and make them sit in circle, just look at the candles. So it becomes part of a routine that they are familiar with. So as soon as they become familiar with the routine and the repetition and everything, it helps them to calm down faster and easier.
How
And
fast, how soon did you find them settling
about
down nowadays?
2 to 3 weeks for the nursery children. two
For
to three
nursery
weeks
children,
Nursery children,
okay,
yes.
they are able to
For
sit in one place at least. I'm
yes.
sure they are
Yeah.
dancing around, but still they're sitting there.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
And how about kindergarten, like upper kindergarten,
Upper
when they are
kindergarten who
4 year plus?
for 4 years plus, 5 years plus, K1, K2, KB. Um, the students who have been with us in the nursery, when they get into the KA or KB, they can just sit there. They can, with the right posture, a bit here, this and that, but they're still sitting down straight, closing their eyes, and they can sit for quite some time now.
I know I had given you all a deadline that this much time the children must sit in one posture. So, what is the
Correct.
target now you have put up for them?
Right. Actually, the target was 7 minutes, but I can safely say that all my children KKB, they can sit for 10 minutes plus in the nice
That's
posture.
that's amazing, eh?
Yeah.
That's really nice. I would like to take this opportunity because you have shared some pictures with us. So please tell us
Yes.
something about these pictures.
Right.
So this is
So this is the how we do it in the school. So the children will do morning assembly outside of the school, outside of the class. And for the kindergarten, they will sit in circle and the teacher will light up the candle and start the silent sitting with the commentary. So
and
this
this
is
is
how they
which
will look like.
class? This
This
is
is
which class?
this is actually KB.
Is KB? Okay.
KB. Yes.
And this one is for your
And
whole
then
assembly. Looks
yes. So for the upper classes from primary to asset senior
sixth.
high students, uh, yes, they are actually doing morning assembly in this hall together with the school members, the teachers, and everybody. And this is the part where the silent sitting. After the morning assembly, they will all just sit down. As we can see that the candles are a bit further down there, so the teachers have initiated to use the projector to
So you have a virtual candle as well as you have the real candles, both going on.
yes, correct.
Okay. So in kindergarten, you have the circle time where you do the light meditation and silent sitting. And
Yes,
for senior classes, you have it in the assembly. Is
yes,
that so?
correct,
Okay,
correct.
great. And this another shot of yours. Excellent. This
Yes,
I think is very clear picture.
yeah,
Yeah, it gives us a very clear picture about how we are sitting there.
yes,
And this one, I believe, is a small video of
yes,
your classroom.
yes, correct. This is kindergarten student. Uh, they were just sitting quietly, not much movement and everything. Here and there a little bit, it's still okay. But yeah, this is how the classroom looks like during the silent sitting.
So at least you have achieved the state where children can sit. Oh, there's one child who's still shaking.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. So, and this is the classrooms.
Right. Okay. So this is for the upper level. They did the silent sitting before the exam. This is
Oh,
actually yes. This is before the exam. It's close to the coronavirus things, so I'm sure they are a bit stressful. The families are stressful, but then we start that before the exam. So this is the senior classes where they do the silent sitting also before the lesson. So we have used the silent sitting also to help calm the students down whenever it's needed.
and this one
And
is an interesting picture. What is this about?
this yes, so this is actually uh, it's a punishment for the students. This is a form of punishment.
So
So the way they
basically, you have replaced the punishment with silent sitting.
correct. So this
So
is
of
after
course,
lunchtime.
nowadays there is no capital punishment for children at all. So here,
Yes,
whatever the punishment you have to give, you are moving it to them as silent sitting.
correct. Correct. So this is also a reflection time for them. They need to really think about their actions before, why they do it, why it is not okay, and everything. And the end of the silent sitting, the teacher will talk to them, have a conversation to them about their behaviors. If they can answer the teachers, they will punishment end. But if not, they can just sit again and really think about it again.
Okay. So, okay. And this is a home quarantine. Okay. Now they are at
Yes.
home. So
Yes.
cute. Yeah.
Yes. So we still do the online learning, right? So the teachers are guiding them through the online learning. We start with the silent sitting first. And that is the picture sent by the parents, actually.
Okay, so basically, this is the teachers doing it online from them.
Yeah. This is the our nursery babies. So she can actually sit down and just close their eyes.
That's so nice.
Yeah. Mm. So
Thank you,
that's
Novita.
how, yes.
Yeah, I
Thank
appreciate that.
you.
At least we got an idea from you, and I'm sure the viewers can get a fair idea about the implementation, how it is working, and how the children are taking. Actually, I remember doing it in Trinidad also, and where the children would they'll tell their parents and everybody come, and they would pretend to be teachers and then make them sit in the house and do the silent sitting with the family. So the children are very
Mhm.
cute. So this is
Yes.
another beautiful example for you. So Novita, thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
joining and sharing this beautiful experience of yours with all of us. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. So this was an idea about light meditation that we're talking about. So next we look at uh, prayer and positive thinking. I'll just take you all quickly through this journey because I should let me switch on again that application. Sorry. This is second technique, which is basically to help children believe in the higher self, believe that there is a power who's always with them. Because many times children get into that fear of, smaller children, they start missing their parents. Elder children, sometimes they don't know whom to look forward to. Prayer and positive thinking, of course, the implementation happens in the assembly, it happens before you take your meal, and there are different pre programmed things where we are helping children to have prayers. But very important is that this is a program which allows children to internalize and develop self confidence and faith. And for that, we use prayer and we use thought for the day, quote for the week, and all those kind of tools to reinforce positivity in children and do the good things. So, this is another area which, if need be, we can take examples. But I want to take you further to another thing, and I'll come back to it, is a storytelling part. Now, storytelling is a very beautiful, a tool, and I'm sure all of you have experienced it. That everybody loves to listen to stories, and there are people who are wonderful narrators, and when they speak, when they tell stories, everybody is glued on to them. Children love it. Storytelling, I feel, unfortunately, if I may put it like that, it is only treated as a tool of communication or a conveying or teaching something to the children. But storytelling, we found, is also a tool to understand the psyche of the children and develop self confidence and personality of the child. And this tool we have used in really diagnosing even the smaller children who have just joined the school, say, age of 3, 3.5, and they have not yet developed the confidence to communicate freely. Even to such children, also, when we use this technique properly, it creates a magic. So, storytelling is not just picking up a book and reading it or emoting it or using your voice modulation to attract the children attention. It is actually, if you ask me frankly, it is a very deep science. It helps to connect, it helps to develop confidence, it helps to build bonds. It is an amazing peek into the psyche of a child. Today, I have another guest with me. She's from Trinidad, Sister Karuna Seepersad. Karuna, welcome. Let me give you a little bit
Hi.
of prominence. Karuna is from Trinidad and Tobago, but she studied in Canada, Toronto. Actually, she has a very variety of experience. She did a Bachelor of Law from University of London in 2007. Then she did Diploma in Early Childhood Education from George Brown College in Toronto again. And then she went and did Masters in Human Resources. So Karuna, your jump from law to children, early childhood, can you please share? And welcome to the show first. And please share something about you and tell us this jump, how it happened.
Oh, thank you for having me, Abhi. Hi, everybody. It's nice to be here with you all today. Um, well, my change happened because I think I realized that I could probably make a bigger difference in helping children rather than being a part of the legal fraternity. Maybe I was better suited to children. I like them more than big people, anyways. They're nicer.
So
Um,
what made you interested in storytelling?
Well, I've always been very interested in storytelling. Reading stories, modern storytelling, is what drew me into this because you could always pick up a book and just get lost in a new world. And being able to create that world is really something that draws me to it. I've also found that it is one of the most effective ways to get through to children and to get them involved and engaged in an activity. I mean, you don't even have to be telling them a story. You could let them create the story for themselves and just be there helping them to create the story. Um,
I would like you to share with us. Brought you here for that story from Trinidad. When we started our first school there with International, we had one child. We'll not name him. He must be a big boy now. Uh, he had a very serious imagination. You remember that? And
yeah.
he was very actually when he came to the new environment, he wasn't comfortable. He would not speak to anybody, very imaginative child, very creative, but he would not speak to anybody. He would be silent. In fact, he won't enter the class also. It became so difficult to communicate with him that he won't express, he won't eat, he won't do anything. He would just stand there whole day. And his parents were worried, we were worried. And that is a time when I brought you in to the school and I wanted to use your expertise to penetrate into the psyche of the child. So please tell us what exactly happened and what did you do with him?
Well, when I heard about this child, I was really intrigued, actually, because I've never seen anything like it. I've seen children refuse to engage before and things like that, but I've never seen them to this extent. Um, and when I sat with him, I was wondering if he had developmental difficulties in within him, and he refused to speak for a while. And then I started asking him about what kind of stories he likes. And immediately he lit up. And he started telling me about his friend, the
Spider-Man.
spider. The spider, Sonny the spider. I still remember the name of the spider, Sonny the spider. So I asked him a little bit more about the spider and how much of a friend it was. And then I decided maybe if we drew the story out and made him helped him write the story, he would become more confident in talking and putting himself out there and more emotive and engaged. So I started drawing the story as he told it and tell him and writing it out for him. And when he saw it on the paper, he got very excited and much more engaged. And he was so engaged that that afternoon, I think he agreed to tell his friends in circle time the story that he wrote. And he was able to stand up in front of his class and talk to them and tell them his story about Sonny the spider and how friendly he was. And I think from that moment of real engagement, meaningful engagement, to his turnaround time, it was maybe 2 weeks
Yeah, he just
of
bounced back.
bringing him out. He completely blossomed. He was extremely bright and he became like a leader in the class. in his ear.
I remember
I
him
remember.
telling that I was stuck in the attic and my mom had locked me up with spider. So he was having
Yes,
a wild
he had a
imagination.
very wild imagination.
But that actually used it very nice. So, dear listeners, I want to just tell you that the storytelling is not only one way. The teacher is giving a story and the child is listening. And a story is also when you prompt a child and make them speak and create their own stories. It could be a story about their trip to a beach or a trip to a picnic or trip with the parents to the grandparents' house or whatever. But the point is, the moment they start storytelling, the emoting, they develop confidence, they are more in tune to themselves, they are more observant, they are more receptive. So I think, Karuna, that was an amazing experience for all of us to learn from that.
Definitely, I think so.
So thank you, Karuna, for this small input and I
Okay,
appreciate very much your coming here with us.
thank you for having me.
Thank you, dear. So that was storytelling for all of us. In that manner, if you look at it, storytelling should not be limited and understood as only the teacher is going to tell a story. It is also where the child is encouraged to create their own stories and come up and tell. Now, this has a huge benefit from both sides. If you take it from the development of child, his self-confidence, see when they stand up and talk, they develop public speaking skills. So this is an amazing thing which we can look at. And before that was group singing. Now, these are small tools, group singing and group activities, another one. These two are important. One, because rhythm or music is an element which every child must be exposed to. It doesn't mean that the child has to become a musician or a child must learn how to play an instrument or be a singer. But the point is, the child must have an orientation towards music. That aesthetics in the child is very important. It does not matter whether you're a boy or a girl, the aesthetic in the child must be developed. Otherwise, you start seeing things in a very, very, matter of fact manner. This music element or this art element, the group singing, coming together, dancing together, playing together, see, this not only brings harmony, but it also allows a creative element to blossom. It allows your heart to blossom. So the people developing, the children growing up, will not only have the intellectual acumen and the strength, but they will also have a softer heart to perceive and empathize with the surrounding. So group singing should never be underestimated that it's only for a few people who have the musical gift. It's for everybody. If you can't sing, at least you can appreciate it. If you cannot play, at least you can admire. So this is a very beautiful activity which every child must go through, especially in the formative years. And in the formative years, more and more the children get exposed to these things. They develop that kind of confidence, they develop appreciation, they develop empathy, and they develop, like, as they call it, kindness in their heart, the love and affection in their heart. So group singing should not be considered only as an activity to play an instrument or singing. It has got a lot of other benefits. Hence, every school does that. That is why parents must also understand that this is an element which every child must be exposed to. Listen to some nice soft music, and you must understand that every music has its own vibration. So, what kind of mix of music you provide your children also impacts. So, please be conscious of it as to what are you trying to make your child to be, what kind of personality you want him to develop. Because if he hears a particular kind of music, that's what the child will get influenced. So, the sound therapy, music therapy, these are all real things. So hence I would request you all, this is a very important element which you should look at it. And the last one was group activity. Group activity, if you look at it, this is actually same thing as group singing, But here we take up a task and divide it with the children. So children come together to finish it. See, there are in life there are occasions when it is easy to do it alone. I'm very comfortable on my own. But many times to develop that skill of empathy, to develop cooperation, to develop civic sense, to develop community harmony, you need to work together. And this initiation must be done in the childhood. So when children grow up working together collaboratively, then they will become a very beautiful, contributor to the community and the development of the nation. So these are the various ways you can look at the child. So now if you look at it, these tools can be used from learning from nature, learning from the cultural heritage, and learning from each other. So these are the important elements which we must keep in mind while we are utilizing these 5 tools. So let me run it through again just for your information. So we have first light meditation and silent sitting, and then you have prayer and positive thinking, then you have group singing, then you have storytelling, and you have group activities. So these are the 5 tools given to us, and we expect that a child must go through all these 5 every day. That is a bare minimum conditions. I always give it to all my schools where I have the privilege of consulting. And the challenge for the teachers is how best they can incorporate these 5 into their teaching program. Because how can they make engaging every activity? How can they have the element of prayer, element of positive thinking, element of strength to get them from light meditation or from silent sitting? How can they calm them down? Because the learning curve for all the children is up and down. They want to get excited, then they want to cool off. So this journey, it happens by default, but if you manage it, then you can manage the children, because you can't keep the children more than half an hour in one posture. Then they will start getting restless. So if we can consciously work with them and help them, to get excited, calm them down, do some activity with them, then they will listen to you also, they will follow also, and it's a wonderful learning experience. So these are 5 for you. So I'm open now, another 5 minutes to have any questions, any thoughts from anybody. That would be nice. So we will open it now for anybody to ask any questions, or if anybody wishes to share something. So if you are typing, I will remind you that, as I've already mentioned, we have this new channel from where we are broadcasting this value programs. So I would only request you to please share this information with everybody, and please do subscribe and press the bell icon. It seems that's what I've been told. That will give you some indication and intimation on time. So is there any question from anybody? If not, then I think we close 5-7 minutes earlier. But if there is anything, I can look at it. What about how these build self-confidence? They do build self-confidence in the sense that, see, for example, if you take even prayer, singing a prayer in the assembly or in front of everybody is a first step towards facing the audience. So that is another confidence building activity. And at the same time, when you start contemplating within, like what Novita showed us, that even they have replaced now the punishment into meditation. So what are we trying to do to them? We are trying to help the children to self-assess. Why should a teacher tell you that you are wrong? Why should somebody adult tell you that you should not do that? Now, since we have given them the right kind of orientation, so we are going to tell them that, look, now you think and tell whether you are right or not. So when they go introspective mode, then they realize what they have done wrong, what they have not done wrong, and then they come and ask. There are occasions when the children will come and tell you that, no, I didn't do anything wrong. And then you listen to their part of the story and you find a logic in them. But that confidence to come and tell is also required in the child. So we welcome that also. And self-confidence is the foundation in ourself to build the edifice of life. So without self-confidence, human beings cannot be human beings also. So self-confidence is the basis, the first thing which every child must have. And hence it's our responsibility to help children, encourage them and build this self-confidence in them. So they have confidence, now merge it. Instead of having confidence in, in your father, in your mother, or in some tools, or in some drugs, have confidence in yourself. That confidence is important. And to build that confidence, all these 5 tools are very helpful. I have Vibha asking if we are doing any of the above technique with elder kids. How do we answer what these practices are important for? Vibha, I believe when you say elder kids, they are in teen. And if they are in teen, obviously you have to understand that they have already gone through a formative age. So now they will not, if you have not trained them to listen to you, then they will certainly question you today. And as a parent, you have to be ready for it. Maybe at this point, I will tell you that with this, I'm getting some more demands for this topic. Next week, I'm going to hold a session on age developmental milestones and how important it is for child development to understand what is the focus or prime developmental areas in different ages. So please join me next week. I will prepare and I'll announce it. And I'll give you a little bit more about how you can handle it. But just for your quick addressing to your question, and I'll flash your question for everybody to read. Uh, the the point is you have to be ready with the answers, because when you talk to them, say you want them to sit quietly, then you have to first understand why. What are you trying to help them with? And it's never late. When I say we start with the kindergarten, obviously they are teenagers, so we don't expect, that okay, I can't do it now, I'm teenage. But it can be practiced at any age. In fact, many of our people have practiced it much later in life. So age is not the bar to start a good activity. But as they grow up, yes, the default acceptance is less. So they will demand an explanation as to why they should follow. And that is where, as a parent, you have to be ready. So you can even do like many people do as a family get together. They say, okay, every Thursday or every Saturday, as a family, we'll sit down together and pray. As a family, we sit down together and eat. As a family, we do the silent sitting. So if you develop that kind of an habit also, that will also initiate people. But more important is that children must understand as to why it is important. All these techniques, especially the silent sitting, whether it's light meditation or just sitting quietly, because quietly sitting is not easy. That is why we use a prop like flame or something like that. So silent sitting, your group singing, all these things you can do, but silent sitting is a key. And then prayer and positive thoughts. The positive thinking is very important. So maybe you can just bring out a topic and say, let's discuss this topic, because they are saying, okay, ahimsa parmo dharma, depending on the age. If they say, okay, non-violence is the best thing you must have, so why? A discussion on a positive element will also encourage children to run their brains towards that direction and then question. But then you have to be very genuine with the children while discussing it. So please, I would say, don't shy away. And it can be a mutual learning from both sides. You don't have to be an expert to engage your children. You can engage, if they're elder, then you can even engage them as a friend and say, okay, let us learn together, because these are techniques which are recommended and help people. So maybe my age is bigger, but you are still growing, man. If you can pick it up, it'll help you in future. So, a general talk from that sense, without having any air about, I'm going to teach you something which. So I think it'll work. So you have to start somewhere, and you have to do your little bit of self study. So that's why I said to you, if you have any challenges in practicing, please send me the exact scenario, so then we can even look at the case scenarios, and we could even discuss together and see if we can find a better answers for you, better help. So I guess, thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Viva, for questioning. Thank you, Nove, and thank you, Karuna, for joining us today and giving your time and experiences. I very much appreciate. Let me bring them on so that you can say bye to everybody. Okay. Thank you very much. And I appreciate both of you. So thank you all for joining. And as I said before, please do like our channel and subscribe it, so that you can get intimations for our next program. Thank you very much. Namaste. Thank you all.